start derailment, and everybody has to go slow to it.
Yeah, but Dexter was wrong. I mean, well, Dexter understands the rules.
Well, neither does, what's his face?
The white menace, the ivory box.
So the next project on the table is repainting this for the club. And as you can see, whoever had this, they hit it with a here and there with airbrush, it looks like, but you know, it's just kind of here, there, and they didn't grout. You got these lines to repair or hide or do something with. It's pretty well built. Like the detail. I started cleaning it up with some alcohol here, and I got some discoloration, so there's obviously some kind of clear coat on this thing that I wasn't aware of, but because it just looked like it was done, but I should have known better because the side paint didn't come off on my fingers. But hindsight's 20/20. It's all going to get fixed. Every surface will get painted. This is the side that won't be seen from the audience, so I'm not going to be all that concerned about some of these details as much as I am going to be on the other side where the public can see it. But actually, this side is better built. I mean, notwithstanding these, I mean, some of these seams are pretty darn good. Like that one's almost invisible. Almost. That one's almost invisible. That one is invisible. So, I mean, it's, you know, I give this thing a solid B minus, A minus, B minus for build quality. So, yeah, no, I'm try to do as little work as I can possibly do on this thing, only just to make it look like a better finished product. And like this is going to be plain to see because the audience is going to be looking at this thing in this direction, so this is real obvious. That'll have to be fixed. This is nice. I'll just go and do some little detailing. I'm not going to do much at all, except I'm going to mask these. I may repaint these, but I think they're done pretty well as it is. And then I may do the black treatment. This is probably, I'm going to have to repaint that now because I screwed it up, but that's not a big deal. All this stuff inside here was going to be addressed anyway, so painting this, painting that some color and giving it some life is in the thing. And then I've got a lot of masking to do. Because really the big thing are these seam lines and these grout. They didn't put any grout, didn't do any grout work on here. So we're going to take our thin Vallejo paint, and I'm going to start with something else to do a test project. So we'll start with that, and then we will get this thing all prettied up. So that's this project. Okay, we've started the painting process. Just doing a few of these detail items. Okay, so I got this little H-beam that was just right here on the table. And it happens to fit. I just had it in there, now it won't go. No, maybe that's as far as it went. Okay. So that works there. And then I took a very thin piece of plastic and So I had to go to the stash and find something that was about the right size here. Now I'm going to, and I'm going to do this off camera, but now I'm going to cut this, the two pieces that are about the right size, and we'll cap this, and I'll come back. Okay, so got the kinks worked out on this. So we'll do this on a step-by-step on these little stages. So this has been properly painted and clear coated in the end. And it's on this vertical because I've already done one of the sides in order to test my process here. And it worked as expected. So I'm going to take a little diluted 90% isopropyl and Vallejo brown and mix it together in wash strength and coat the one side, and that is step one. You know, I was going to show a flat side, but I'm going to do a bigger side because I mixed up way too much paint. But this is about a 50-50 mix or so of alcohol, and there's a lot extra alcohol, and right there I've got 70% alcohol as a backup in case I need to dilute this some more. But the color I'm using for this is Flat Earth. So we're taking our flat straight edge brush and taking some of our extra alcohol to make sure that it is the right dilution, and then we are going to start up carefully applying it because I'm trying to keep what's already been painted. So this really kind of is a neater job than I would otherwise be doing, but I'm kind of flooding it on. And like with the Michaels acrylic, once I get the color on, I'm going back and mopping it up so that it's thin, and then tracing the extra material and moving it to an uncoated, because then the challenge with the Vallejo paint is the toner. And while the material itself is great, most of the stuff is going to wipe off, and so you just want enough toner to get color into the grout, and using the isopropyl to get it to flow into the cracks. On its own, because then the wiping off becomes less of a job in and of itself. So I can already see I've got too much color over there. So this is, if you've mastered acrylics, moving over to Vallejo with isopropyl alcohol is a lot easier. It is a lot easier to work with this material. And you know, I see all these modelers working with Michaels paints to do their cars and whatever they happen to be working on their thing, and there's a place for it. I still don't plan on using this paint yet for scenery, because I'm happy with the results that I've been getting from the water-based Michaels acrylics. But given the properties of this paint, I'm done using Michaels acrylics on exteriors of the building. I mean, there's going to be a learning curve commanding all these colors. I just ordered a bunch of colors for the other paint job. Shit. For the other paint jobs I've got on the back bench. some of which are wood. That'll be real interesting to see. I should probably stick with Michael's acrylics on that one. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but I just dipped my brush into the 70% isopropyl, and a heavy spot of toner just turned into liquid wash. And then it's going like, well, I know for a fact that was too much, which means that when I wipe this off, that area isn't going to stick. So there is a too much alcohol in this concoction, which just kills any binder that's in this paint. But that's part of the learning curve, and it's not the end of the world, because what happens is that you can come back to the project and do your touch-ups in places. And again, just going back to the 70% to make sure that my high toner spaces are moving toner around into places that look light, and making sure that there's not enough paint to get everywhere. So this is where I generally leave it, right there, the way it looks right there. And you can see that I just dipped in the 70% alcohol to sort of wash out the brush, and that's going to be too thin, so I need more toner there. But what I'm going to do is, this part that I just did will be dry by the time that I get done with the other side of this, all the way to there. So I basically want to leave it how I'm going to go and hit it with the alcohol, because that is the next stage. Now with 70% isopropyl and a cotton pad, well, we're going to go back down here and start taking off the surface of this. And this is just like 20 minutes after I started. And hopefully you can see how these gaps are filling very nicely. I'm really happy with how this looks, and it gives the whole product an aged look. Now, in general, I'm going down. Sometimes, obviously, you have to go side to side because there are high spots still. And thick spots where you just kind of have to rub, especially around these windows at the top and bottom. And over here at this 3-tier ledge. But if you go up and down, then back and forth, it comes out okay. Now I already did the other side, and this is what your final product will look like. And I still have a little bit of touch-up to do with the alcohol because there are still high spots and yellow spots, but by and large, it's very nice, very reasonably aged. I gotta go back up and touch up the bottom of this concrete, but that's nothing. And so, okay, so here's how the second side came out, and that is ideal. Looks really good. Very happy. Pretty good. Pretty good. Getting a little lazy there. Still got some cleanup to do. This is actually all pretty good. I'm a little concerned about this. I mean, it's the back side. I'm not going to go back over this again, but if this were the front side, I would come back and do this again. Because the toner didn't get really into the grout there. But I think this all came out pretty nice for a first shot. And this is a second. Once this thing is all polluted up and wasted, this is a good time to go back to your other sides, because when it's all mucked up like this and you start wiping out, the color that's in this will go back onto the plastic, which is fine. This is kind of, you know, again, we're one, but I think this is pretty good. Make sure. Now this is unpainted windows, I believe, and it'll white. Because what happened was that I put the panel line on this thing to test it, and then I wiped it off, and I'm going to have to re-panel line again. But that's not a big deal. I did the panel line here, did the panel line here, touched up this fixture. That's going to have to be continually painted a little bit more until it blends in, because there was a gap here. And then, oh yeah, we did panel line up here too, which came out really nice. I mean, it just cleaned up. What happened was is that I cleaned all this stuff up with alcohol, and you can see the white traces. Some of this white traces are still the dirt because I stopped, but this white stuff is whatever clear the guy used. It reacted with the 90%. So that's why I use 70% to do this wiping off, because if you do, the 70% doesn't seem to be as aggressive on the plastics. I mean, it'll still remove paint and such, but it won't instantly turn them white. So I got to go back and I got to re-panel line these things, but or not. I think that actually came out pretty well. This one needs to be cleaned off because it's still got the 91 on it. This one might need to be redone. I only started working on this around noon, so I've done all this side, that side, the 3 back sides in 4 hours. And I am ready to clear coat this side. Well, not really. I mean, I'm ready to clear coat the grout on this side. Again, I still got that detail to do, and I'll do that off camera. Still got to do that side. That'll take like 10 minutes. And this side, you know, I went at this today with a scratch, just because I wanted to ghost it out as much as I can of the old decal. I don't know if we're going to use this as Candy Factory or not, but I don't mind having the old decal there. I'm really curious as to what's going to happen when I grout the lines on this side, because this is that brick side. And hopefully it'll wash that out some more and hide it. I didn't want to take that completely off. I just wanted to get through the paint some more, and I may go at this a little bit more. I may go at this a little bit more just to take a little bit more off, or not. I don't know. But any event, break out the cotton swabs here to get in here. Well, like I say, I'm not gonna go hog wild on this side. Nobody's gonna. The closer you'll be able to see this side is from about 5 feet away, if that. So I'm not gonna really break my neck to get this as neat and uniform as it is going to be on the other side. This is going to have filtered pipes going into the building. I'll take a picture of this. I'll bring my camera along to the club when I drop it back off in next week. Or sooner, whenever I get out there next. Okay, pretty sure this is almost done. At least the grout is done. Gonna mess with it. Might touch it up a little bit more. So now, next step is we are going to finish off the roof. Need to put another coat of paint on that first, but I will set you up with that and we'll go from there. This is a mix of 1/3 white glue, 1/3 alcohol, and about 20% water. Not scientifically mixed. Now I did go through and seal up all the leaks. I probably, so this is not advisable, but this is glass cleaner. And this is just going to break up surface tension. And I'm being very careful because I only want to get it on the roof. I don't want to get it on my brand new paint job. Some areas are just going to have to do without because I can retouch up the stuff in a minute. So next thing we're going to do, take our mix. Now you could use any sort of blackish powder. Yeah, enough to go. I'll do this